We're back.
Unfortunately.
She whispered that one tonight.
Don't look at me. Well,
sometimes when I get really nervous.
I love Molly Shannon.
What episode is this?
Welcome to episode
12
of
PnB Unplugged.
Thank you, Rodney.
Wasn't that crazy that guy talked about Rodney Balkin this weekend?
It
I
was,
like,
yeah.
yes.
That was cool.
Love Rodney Balkin.
Yeah. Well, it's great to be with you tonight. Last week we had a guest on the podcast, and that was a really fun episode.
Uninvited. I'm kidding.
We also had a live studio audience. Two people in our studio,
people.
and two cats. Thank you, Autumn. In our,
we still got two cats.
we still do, and we have Olivia, but she's not paying any attention to us. She's just playing on her iPad. So, story of our lives. All right. So, tonight's episode is going to be really cool because we're going to talk about. What I'd like to talk about is the recording process and how we go about recording our albums. So we don't do that on our own because it would be really, really terrible if we did.
It would be like the quality of these YouTube videos.
I was going to go from the God has gifted people.
Amen.
And he has. Thank
He
God.
really, really.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, praise God for that.
Just using everybody else's God-given talent.
Yeah.
We're just trying
Bring
to
it.
help.
It's like calling the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Why would I try to take his job? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
The
right.
kingdom is full of...
You don't
Go
want
ahead.
me doing brain surgery on you.
No, thank you.
What we're going to do is saw the top of your head off, root around in there with a stick, see if we can't find that dad burn clot. No thanks. I'll just die.
Chef
Yeah.
Foxworthy.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Dr.
How
Caleb.
many
Dr.
times
Oh,
we heard
Autumn
that?
has no clue. I
Several.
forgot. She wasn't even born.
Yes, I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
You know Jeff Foxworthy?
Yes, but do you know why I know Jeff Foxworthy?
Because of us.
No.
Oh.
I know who Jeff Foxworthy is as a comedian, but I never watched Jeff Foxworthy as a comedian. I watched Jeff Foxworthy on a game show.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah. Are you
Oh,
smarter than a
yes.
fifth grader?
And the answer is no.
Yeah, I actually tested that theory when Olivia was in 5th grade.
Are you
She
in
was
fifth
like-
grade now or
Yeah.
sixth?
Sixth
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah, so last year I found out I am not smarter than a 5th grader. My favorite thing, though, she's like, you want to help me with my math, Caleb? And I was like, yeah, I love math.
Not me.
Then she opened up her math, and I was like, that ain't math. There's letters in it. So it is crazy. She's a pretty smart kid. It's wild. And Carmen, I'm like, Carmen, how do you know how to do all this stuff, man? She's like, I just kind of have to,
It's called I relearned it.
She
with
relearns
her.
it to teach it to Olivia. I'm like, Carmen is the smartest person in our whole group.
No.
She has to be.
No, I read every day. We just read the books. We just do what's next.
Carmen's like, some days I just look at the answer in the back. Yep, you got that one.
What's that?
That is okay.
What's that quote in Frozen? Just do the next right thing.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Do the next right thing
Yeah.
every day.
All right.
What's
I
everybody
was gonna say-
drinking?
I am drinking my favorite drink. And actually, shout out to our uninvited guest on the podcast last week. He brought me this today. His name is Josh
You
Roberts.
can't even see it. It's behind you.
He brought me this today, and some people think it's the mark of the beast. But it's actually
It's actually just caffeine.
it's actually just caffeine. So
We're working on him. I'm just
What you got?
And to be fair, he does not have one often.
No, I don't
There you
have
go.
one. Just every day.
Just once a day.
That's a few times a day.
Caleb, what are you drinking?
I am drinking. Autumn has found. Aldi has my favorite coffee back. It
It's
only happens in
seasonal.
the fall.
Yeah.
And so she found it and has got me 2 cases of it.
Oh my!
It's maple pecan pie, K cups or whatever, and they're cheap, but they are so delicious. It smells like breakfast is happening in your kitchen as soon as you start brewing it. So thank you, babe. With a little bit of almond milk and some monk fruit.
Monkey fruit.
It's beautiful.
I'm having water.
Carmen,
I'm
I'm so
having-
surprised.
I'm having water too, but it looks like a urine sample. And
Oh gosh.
it does. I don't know if you can tell. You can definitely tell it's not clear. The reason it looks like a urine sample is because there's about this much unsweet tea in it, and I was just like, well,
You
fill
and
the
I
rest
don't
up.
care. We'll put what it's the same. It's just a
It
liquid.
doesn't taste like
Put
tea.
it in the
I
same
would
cup.
do that. I would do that.
It does kind of look like a really well hydrated urine sample.
You can have.
Yummy.
Yeah, now
That's
that we.
awesome.
All right,
Mine don't ever look like that.
I'll just stick to my monster, as my dad calls it.
Now that's
Monster.
probably what Jacob's urine's going to look like after.
Or it's like those radioactive shrimp from Walmart. Have you seen those? There's like a recall on shrimp right now because it was radioactive.
What?
Yeah, great value shrimp.
Oh,
I swear.
Awesome.
good
Didn't
thing
know
I'm not
that.
rich enough to have shrimp.
I do have shrimp in our freezer, but it ain't from Walmart. It's
We
from
got 'em
Aldi.
before the radioactivity, I think. So, anyways,
Okay, back to.
I'm stoked about tonight because this is.
I'm glad you are.
We were just talking about if you missed the Facebook, if you're not watching the Facebook lives on Tuesday, you should because there's been some pretty cool stuff happening here lately. Or if you just like old songs and hymns, or we just kind of hang out. It's a little more focused on our ministry side of things. But we had a great time. We do have a great time. So go over to Facebook, check that out. We're also on Instagram. You can check that out. And we're just rocking and rolling.
Stay connected with us. All right. So we have recorded how many albums?
6.
6 albums in the last 8 years.
We need to round that up to a godly 7 soon.
Amen. Amen. Number of completion. I hope it's not the last album we do.
We get canceled for this podcast.
But we have recorded 6 albums, and before we started Phillips and Banks, I had been a part of a few recordings, but never really done one. I had done one from kind of start to finish, been a part of that process, start to finish. But when we first started our group, it was just brand new for us. And so I have no idea if you all will be interested in this or not, but I find it very interesting, just all the pieces and parts that go into a recording. And honestly, I don't really think any of us were fully prepared for what it was going to take to record an album
No.
before we started. So
Now we are.
Not like this, anyways. It's definitely been. It's crazy how it has kind of grown the process.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I mean?
like I feel like it's been a stepping stone.
Yeah.
You know, our first album we recorded in 2018. We recorded 2 albums in 2018, actually.
That's
And
crazy.
It
8
is.
years.
It is 8 years ago. And our first recording was a local recording done by a guy named Joel Sanders and a guy named Dustin Jenkins.
Oh yeah.
Dustin Jenkins recorded our soundtracks, and Joel recorded our
We mixed the
vocals.
vocals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then we did one called A Few of Our Favorites, and we actually won a talent show, and that's how we got to record that album. And we did that one in Nashville at Daywin Studios. And so that one was a lot of fun. And then we recorded a Christmas album, which was free for us. Somebody paid the studio
Yep.
for us to go and record our own
If anyone
Christmas
would like to do
project.
that again, feel free.
Yeah. And then,
That one was in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we recorded
Atlanta.
that one in Atlanta.
Hot Lana.
Hotlanta. Then we recorded a project called "This Is Your Day," and I would say that that was where we kind of found our identity as
Yeah.
a group. I feel like up until that point, it had been kind of like covers. Now, the first record, we didn't know what we were doing, but we recorded a lot of original songs.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. The first album, you guys were writing like crazy on that
Yeah, I
one.
don't know what
It's-
that's about. I don't know why. Anyway,
I honestly, Carmen said this to me one time about my testimony. We got to talking about we've shared my story a lot of times, come through addiction, alcoholism, all these things. When I got saved, God sobered me up. He took those things right then and there. And we were talking not too long. All of us were actually talking about that. Like, why didn't I have to go through recovery? Why, everybody's story is different. Everybody's journey is different. But I think just like the Lord knew he knew what he had planned for my life. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So he put it on fast track. He put the people around me. He got it done so I could get on the path where he wanted me to go. I met you guys not very long after that, and here we are.
mm-hmm.
But I think about the same thing. Think about how fat Carmen said she'd never written a song before, Stuck in the Wilderness. Comes to her in the back of a car. We weren't even singing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But God's starting to throw out, like he's making a way, like you said, stepping stones to get us where he wants us to be. It's crazy how
really cool.
he's
Yeah.
done all that.
Yeah, Carmen wrote Stuck in the Wilderness in the back of a 15-passenger van.
No, Leanie's car.
Oh, was it?
Just a regular vehicle.
A Toyota something. I can't remember.
Highlander.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Anyway,
Well,
so
Carmen's got another song that I want us to revisit. You all know what that is. So.
Carmen sent me a hook today. Was that a hook
Two.
for a song?
Yeah.
I thought so. She sent me a hook for a song today, so we may be writing more than what we think. Who knows?
Come on, Cabin.
Yeah, come on, baby. So, anyway, This Is Your Day has songs like Heaven in Your Heart, It Was Covered by Grace, songs that kind of established our sound and established who we are, our identity as a group, I feel like. Then we recorded a hymns project, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I love that project.
Yeah,
I
me
do too.
I mean, I think it's really, really well-rounded and got a lot of variety.
Great musicians.
Sorry, I need to cross
We
my
did.
legs.
And then our latest project we released in September of 2024, and it's called Living Proof. All of those albums are available for you to listen to on all the streaming platforms, and they're available on our website. So if you want to check those out and kind of see that stepping stone, you can definitely tell as we kind of figured out more and more what we were doing. But tonight we want to talk about like just the process. Like, what does it take to make an album, and what do you need? What are the pieces and the parts that you need, and what that process kind of looks like. So somebody start me out with the first thing that you want to do.
Money. I'm kidding.
Yes.
That is a necessary component. You're right. You're right.
I'm just kidding. Seriously, though.
It is expensive.
It is.
No, go ahead, Carmen.
Number one is
Songs.
songs, right?
Right.
And we've
Oh,
been
yeah.
given so much good advice through this whole, throughout this, and people who've come alongside of us and been like, okay, no, this is what you need to do.
Yeah,
no,
you need to rewrite that line because
Yeah,
it sucks.
you need to do this. So, from other people's words and just from experience, if you don't have good songs with good, solid words and good, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
You can put lipstick on a pig.
But it's
Still
still a pig. That's
So
right.
if you don't start with good songs, then it doesn't matter what you do to them.
And I think that can be objective in a way, but overall, I don't think it's objective. Do you?
No. I mean,
Objective as far as preference, maybe.
that would be like style. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about just actual words,
Lyrics,
that mean something,
Yeah.
and that are scripturally sound and like that are deep enough, to, I don't know.
You can
do
write a
something
song
for-
that says Jesus 100 times, but that don't mean it's going to.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Lord doing that.
Well, I will say this. This is, I think this process, like the first step in the process, finding the songs, I think that is the hardest part.
Oh,
We spent-
absolutely.
takes the longest.
Yeah, we spent probably a year
Mm-hmm.
on our last album looking for songs, writing songs. We had hundreds, probably easily, actually, hundreds of pitches, and some of the pitches are ones that we've almost recorded.
You connect with it.
Yeah. And you really have to kind of sift through
And
stuff that people give you.
and it depends on what the project needs. I mean,
Mhm.
you're like, we can't do 5
It could be a
songs
really,
about
really
this, that,
great
or the other.
song,
Yeah.
and you just can't. You have to pass on it.
Yeah, which is kind of sad sometimes because you're making a choice and you're always second guessing yourself.
And you don't know if your choice is the right one.
That's what I'm
until later.
saying. You're second guessing yourself, going, I really hope this is the right song, and if it's not, I'm gonna kick myself later. But
yeah.
Or you're gonna hear some other group record it, and it'll go number one.
yeah,
Like, I missed it.
Well, it's like that. I know she won't care about us talking about her on here, but Adina Bowman,
yeah,
that song, we held on to a song of hers for 2 years
mm-hmm.
because we connected with it, we fell in love with it, but it was just like
Just wasn't the time for
we
it.
get ready to put nope, it don't fit on this one, and it hit this one. I was like, yes, and Carmen kills that song, but it's just again, it's a powerful message. It's just a good song.
Well, speaking of pitches and writers and all that stuff, maybe some people might be wondering, how we go about receiving material from different writers and that sort of thing. Now, I will say Autumn is a great writer. Carmen is a great writer. I'm not that good of a writer, but
Caleb he's a good driver.
Caleb is a great singer. But
I got to put one line, I think, in one song, and I was like, wow, I'm cool. We never sing it.
Guess whose solo it is? Mine. We never sing it. Sorry.
But as people may be wondering how do you meet songwriters?
Well,
how do you, how does that come up and all those things? Maybe there's a group out there that's looking to record and they're interested in getting pitches from other people and they just don't know how to go about it. We didn't either. So we'll share some things with you here.
And at first, our producer at the time, he helped us. He had more connections than we had.
Starting out, we didn't.
When
know
we first started,
anything.
he was prompting songwriters that he knew to send things over that we might fit us. And then after that, it's really just about meeting people, isn't it?
Yeah.
And over time, we've met this person or this person or this person, and going to conferences that really helped us meet songwriters who might be willing to pitch us a song that I think it's like giving your baby, It's like,
it is.
I know they write many of them write a lot of music, but still it's like you want to choose the right person, the right group for the right song
to carry that message, that will carry the message the way that you have the vision for it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a privilege when somebody's like, I want to send you this song.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of sad when you don't get to use it, because of that.
I always feel bad.
Yeah.
When people send you a song, it's not always because we don't like the song.
Right.
No.
Sometimes it's just that
it won't work for us.
It's not our song.
Well,
we have to be able to be able to communicate that song
and sing it well.
And sometimes it just doesn't fit us. And especially being a mixed quartet.
That does make it
hard. That was what I was going to say. There was a song that all of us fell in love with on this last one, but when you hear it, it's a men's quartet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it needs to be. That's what it needed. And so, but that's...
So making connections, I'd say, is the best way to find music.
And how do you make those connections? We have met a lot of songwriters through the National Quartet Convention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when we do that, it's in the fall every year, and they call it the granddaddy of them all. And they call it that because it's literally the largest annual event in Southern gospel music. And anybody is going to be there. So, like all the big name groups are there, and then most all of the regional groups and things.
Your songwriters are going to come there. Your radio people.
Just a lot of connections
to be made. The labels are going to be there. All.
So, and otherwise, let's say you can't come to that or you don't know how to do that. There are major record labels who have their own publishing companies along with them. And if you reach out to a publishing company and say, we would like to record some music, we wondered if you might be able to, and this is the kind of genre that we're looking at, or this is the kind of style we're looking for. Do you have anything that you might be willing to send us to record? You can reach out to publishing companies that way. Yeah. And then they make those decisions, what they send you.
There's also a lot of songwriters within specific groups.
Yeah.
For example, like the Guardians. So John Darren Rousey is the lead singer and the owner now of the Guardians Quartet. And
one of the
owners. Sorry. One of the owners of the Guardians Quartet. And he is a fantastic songwriter. He's been around gospel music for forever. And actually on our last 3 projects, he was our vocal producer.
Oh, yeah.
And just an amazing man, loves the Lord, loves the music, and he's a great songwriter. And so we reached out to him individually because we knew that he was a great songwriter. And so he sent us some stuff, and Not Today, which was, just a great song on our latest project. He wrote that song, him and a guy named Russ Pruitt.
Oh, yeah.
So, there's a lot of groups out there that have songwriters within those groups, and
I'd say most groups.
yeah.
Have
Probably.
somebody in the group that
Right,
At
writes.
least
right.
one person, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the Guardians are pretty lucky because John writes a lot of
Yeah, he
music,
And
does.
produces
and
well.
produces. So, but anyway, so I guess that's kind of how you find those writers, and then we have little parties at either our house or Autumn and Caleb's house sometimes, and we'll just sit down and kind
We
of
finished through right here in this corner.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's a song on the new recording that Autumn and I wrote, and it's kind of tells the story of what Autumn was, what we all were going through whenever Caleb was sick up in Pennsylvania. If you've ever heard that story, if you haven't and you don't follow our Facebook page or whatever, maybe one day we'll share that more in depth. But he was very sick, and Autumn started writing this song called Through by his hospital bed. And then when we got home, we finished writing it right here in this living room. And so that's a neat little story. And, so just wherever you feel the inspiration, I guess, is when
I
you're
wrote
gonna
another
write.
song on the commode at a church. I think I've said that before. On
The
pod-
commode.
Olivia, every time I say commode, she's like, okay, Grandma.
Why do you say commode?
I don't know.
Is it a Southwest Virginia
Maybe.
thing?
I've always said, y'all never say commode.
That's what I
My
call it.
mama calls it.
Your
it the
mama.
commode. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh,
Well,
gosh.
toilet.
The memo.
I know.
Do
Sorry.
you call it commode? You don't. Toilet.
I think I call it toilet. I don't know.
I call it the John sometimes.
I don't talk
I think
about
commode
it.
feels less yucky.
Commode is a little bit of more.
I wrote
Fancy.
that song while I was sitting on the toilet. Doesn't that sound worse?
It does kind of sound worse. Oh,
On the commode.
so just wherever you feel that inspiration, I guess is super important.
I
Sorry.
like. I think I was just thinking like when we're sent the songs, or I think just being open with people helps you a lot too. Just being able to. Most songwriters, I figured this out. They know the ones that write all the time are like, I get it. If you can't, I just.
Oh,
if it
yeah.
fits your
Yeah.
pocket.
Not
But that's the
take
thing.
offense to it.
I think the first time, This Is Your Day definitely was our first experience having to dig through some of these songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there were songs, we were just talking about this earlier on Facebook Live, that there are songs sometimes that I don't know what you do if you're a soloist. I don't know what I would do without you all, because it helps me if there's a song, like on the This Is Your Day, I don't know if you remember this. There's a song, I absolutely love it. We sing it almost every time we go out now, Heaven in Your Heart.
Mm-hmm.
But when we first listened through those songs, I liked the song, but I thought, well, and I just kind of passed over it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something about it that stuck with you, and you're like, no, I want you to really listen to this song called Heaven in Your Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting with it and thinking, man, this is really, it's something that I kind of breezed through. So, but I feel like that's something we all had to learn was, as you're going through all these songs, you can't keep all of them, but you have to be honest with each other of like, what are you feeling in this moment? What's this song? How's it connecting to
Absolutely.
you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of the song pitches that you get are one person and a piano, or they're just not they're not produced
Right,
yet.
yeah.
So you have to be able to see the vision of the song too. Like, oh, this will be a great song to have strings on and a big orchestra and a choir, and you just don't get that in a demo pitch. You have to learn how to kind of see.
And I'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest
It
with
takes
you.
a minute.
I'll be really honest with you. I feel like I lack in that area because every time I listen to a pitch, I'm like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know.
Well, you all always
And-
say to me, remember, listen to the words.
I know,
Yeah.
I know,
I'm like,
and I know
okay.
that. I know that but it is very difficult.
It is.
For me. It's very difficult.
But I think that's a skill you can acquire. Like
Definitely.
to think outside the box. When you're listening, don't get caught up in the little tiny details of what you're hearing. Make sure that the bones are great, and then imagine. Like just think.
Yeah.
what could this be? When you feel that swell in you, like of the words or whatever, if the music ain't going with you right then, you can be like, but look what we could do, you know?
Yeah, our current radio single, I've Seen What It Can Do, we got that pitch from
Rodney Griffin.
And there was it was him singing alone. He was snapping his fingers and snapping and singing along to it.
It was an a cappella pitch. I have never received an a cappella pitch before.
But I could hear it.
Yeah. And we said, that's the one.
Exactly. So it doesn't, I guess you're right. It doesn't require massive production for you to.
Now that's nice, but
right.
But definitely not.
But no,
required.
you don't have to have that. But
don't be stuck. Is what we're saying. Don't be stuck. If you hear a song and you're like, but there ain't no drums, there ain't no guitar.
Put
I
'em
just
on
don't
there.
know what it's gonna sound like. Well, just let yourself imagine for a moment, okay?
I think what we may be saying is
Don't
if the
close yourself
lyrics move you, then don't let the lack of production sway you from
You can-
recording it.
Create something to make it move you
Exactly.
all around.
Exactly.
And get somebody. I think going back to what you were saying about having John, having a producer. Our first one, having producers, having people that knew. Don't be afraid to reach out, I guess, and find somebody. Be upfront with them, like, no, I'm not feeling the connection there. But find somebody you do trust, even if it's a friend. If I was a soloist, say like Joseph Habedank or somebody, I think I would still have to have people like you all who are close to me to say, that's really not. I don't.
Yeah, to bounce it off of.
Yes,
Yeah.
you need somebody to bounce it off. You got to have that. So pick you a team, even to just sit with you and be like, and don't find somebody that just loves everything you do.
Yeah, someone
All
that'll be
four
honest.
of us are totally different. Our side. If it's black gospel, I'm going to say yes. You ain't even heard the words. That's all right. I know it's good. You know what I mean? But all of us bring
Autumn's gonna
something to
sing.
the table. So bring some. Yeah, Autumn would definitely be like, maybe not that.
I think that's why there's so much. It's probably why there's so much variety on our records too.
I love it. Though,
is
man.
because we all like different things.
Yeah.
But it's got to be the right bluegrass song for me to get on board, or it's got to be the right XYZ style of song in order for Caleb to get on board or whatever. So it just all depends. Now you said something really important. Believe it or not.
Somebody write that down. Put a timestamp on this video.
The first record that we did, like I said, we did local, and we didn't have a producer.
Yeah.
There was nobody like in charge of the record.
To help us.
I mean, we were in charge of it.
It was
Self-produced. But I mean,
you just don't know.
If I'm being honest, I much prefer having somebody that we can
Bounce stuff off
yeah.
of.
right.
Because they've done it.
And
for,
somebody that you trust to be
Yeah.
like, hey, I know that this is what you want to do, but it's not working.
Or the audience isn't going to like.
They're not
this.
going to like it. Sure.
Because you'll get lost in the weeds. That's the problem, is that you're right here and you'll be in the thick of a song and you need somebody on the outside going, okay, I don't think this is going in the direction you want it to go in.
Mhm.
Like, overall, I think you're going to be disappointed.
And
They
even-
need to see it from the outside.
And even if you disagree a little bit, trusting them enough to,
Let them be the producer.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I was thinking of Not Today. Well, there's a lot of songs. I sometimes wish, I like when artists do that, like the way it started and what it ended up being. Garth Brooks does that sometimes. But I was thinking about Not Today. When we first started it, you and I,
We had to abandon that song that day.
we did. But it was completely different. At first, we were starting it out. I was kicking it off. You were singing the next part
Mm-hmm.
of the whole verse.
I remember that.
You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and then, but John, like he literally went in there and he slept on it. That's
He said,
what he called
this
it.
isn't working.
He said
You know.
it's not getting there when I want it, because you all are a quartet. It's a quartet song. So, but he came in the next morning. He's like, "We're all four going to hit it and come in." It's just crazy how it.
Yeah, so he
Kinda
wanted it,
came to
instead
be.
of starting with a solo, he wanted it to start with
As a
all
quartet.
four voices singing together. And, I didn't really think about what a difference that would make.
No, man.
Like, I thought, well, that's not going to really matter. And then once you hear the difference, you're like,
it's so full.
oh, wow.
So different.
Yeah, like yes, this is exactly the right decision that we needed to make. So, Yeah, having a producer, that is a big thing. That somebody that, number one, has connections. If you don't know what you're doing or you're just starting out like we were, somebody that knows, okay, we can go to this studio, we can call this guy, he can be the engineer, this guy can mix, this guy can do this, and then we can go over here. And, having all those connections and knowing where to go, because I'll be honest with y'all, I would have been totally lost. I would have never known who to contact. So I'm thankful for a producer that knows who to call and set it all up.
Yeah.
And also, if you were to call, they don't know who you are.
Exactly.
They do not know who you are. You need somebody that they already have a connection with.
Right. And so the producer kind of puts the stamp of approval on your group, and then the recording studios and all the people that you're going to be working with as you're going
You're not
along
just some
this
random guy
process.
off the street.
They trust that producer to say, okay, yeah, sure, come on in, whatever.
I will say we've been very blessed, and I
Yeah.
didn't think about that until you were just sharing that. You think about our first project. Dustin knew us.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of had a background with him, so we went into track. And I mean, I think for our first project, what is it like? What we've got for Nashville stuff, it's different. I mean, our vocals have grown. We were talking about that earlier. But think about when we went into track, he kind of knew us, and even you and I, we were still working full time at the time. So we knew Dustin enough. The girls could go down. They had to do, what was the song they did?
Glory That
Without
Will
Us.
Be.
Yeah.
I didn't go
Without
down.
Us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it's just
even
the
remember
Lord
that.
I
took
don't
care of
remember
us
that either.
there.
I was sick, and you three went.
Yep.
The song you wrote.
Yeah. Jacob said, I just remember him saying, just make sure it's driving. Just make sure it's driving. I'm like, okay, bro. And he did. But then you think about the Day Wind Project. We had great guys like the Lord lined up, people that could have
Sorry.
talked us into anything because we didn't know anything, but he really protected us. You know what I mean? And then, of course, Rob Neville. Rob would give his whole studio away if he thought he could help you. You know what I mean? But it's crazy, like the process, how the
and
Lord has taken care of us through all that.
there's a group. Matthew Browder has produced our last 3 recordings, and he was a guy that kind of came in. I mean, I've known him for years.
Yep, me
My
too.
dad used to have the Browders at our church, and they would come and do revivals and singings and stuff. And Matthew knew who we were, and he kind of, I'll be honest, I mean, he kind of took us under his wing.
It took a chance.
He did. And, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I really do. So I'm thankful for guys like Matthew that, took a chance on us, and we were able to make a really great recording.
Yeah. I
It's
was
not
very
easy
happy
to
with
make
it.
a great recording. It's really not. And it's not, I'm not saying that to brag on us. I'm saying we had a great team of people that helped us, and the Lord, of course, So
And it takes time.
it does. It really, really does.
Lots of
More
time.
time than you think.
It really does.
Whatever you're thinking, double that.
Triple
Yeah.
it.
Triple it.
I
So
love
the first
Not gonna be
step,
done.
the first step is finding the right songs.
Get your
Songs,
team
producer,
together.
your team, yeah.
Right. Producer, team, songs. Second step is
Tracks.
songs.
well,
yeah.
pre-production.
Oh, learning the music.
Yeah. So the second step, and this is, I think you'll waste a lot of time in the studio if you don't do the second step.
Absolutely.
The second step is called pre-production.
We've heard
So
some horror stories about
we really
wasted
have.
studio
And
time.
time in the studio is money.
Absolutely. So you're not going to get free time in the studio. So we have a meeting with our producers. It was Matthew, and then John did our vocals. And so John plays the piano really well. We would meet at like my dad's church or wherever. I had a piano, and we'd just sit around. We'd print off all the lyrics to the songs that we had chosen in step 1. And then all we do is just lay out the skeleton of the song. What key are we going to sing it in? Who's going to
singing
sing
it?
the lead and all that sort of thing, right?
And that's the day where you make sure that everybody has their own features, make sure, because you don't want it to be
It's
heavy
even.
on one or not. You want it for the listener. It would be good if they didn't hear one person the whole time,
Right.
So you make sure everybody's got their songs and you're in the right, you can all find the parts in the key that you're in and
Right.
all those things, and make sure that the song builds correctly.
Absolutely.
Right. So you're laying out key changes. And
You're going to need a piano player
Yes.
You need
sure.
and a good one.
I will say this, too, in that process, like Carmen was saying, when you're picking out those keys and your parts and all that stuff, be flexible because like we were just talking about how to structure that song change, sometimes we'll come into pre-production, just know what you're doing. But because you know what you're doing, John would say, you know what, let's, I don't even know what songs, I couldn't tell you the songs we've started out. Jacob's going to lead this one. No, let's let Caleb lead this one, and then Jacob's going to lead this one. We'll trade songs completely or change the girls around on things. It's crazy what happens
Just
in
be
pre-production.
willing to try whatever.
But
Don't lock
that,
yourself in before you go.
But having that time to like, yeah, this looks better. Then when you, before you take another step, it's kind of like, this works. You know, that I'd never done anything like pre-production. And I've recorded plenty of times with my dad, but we just went in, we sing the same song. You know what I mean? It was
and just think about, how much time you could have saved. Or, well, I shouldn't say time because it's still going to take time, whether you're in the studio or out of the studio, but money for sure.
Yeah.
You saved how much money you could have saved, without wasting that studio time trying to figure out, all right, who's going to lead this one, and what key do we need to have in it?
So that in pre-production, when you leave from there, you're going to want to have a demo track of your own.
everything.
Something that your song has been produced with just you and the piano, just basics. And you don't have to be perfect at it, but just have it in line. Then those demos go to a transcriber, I don't know what you call them. Somebody who's going to write your chord charts for your players. So you send those to your chord chart writer, and it can be the band leader of the session that you're going to be doing, or it can be somebody else that you're paying to, and you're going to pay them.
If you can do it, go for it. But
if you can chart them yourself in the Nashville number system.
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
good for you.
Yay!
I will say,
we probably could. It would take us a really long time. A really long time.
How about we just pay some money?
Lord, keep providing the money.
It's worth the money.
Yeah, it is. And don't worry about making those songs, the recordings, like really, really good. Like Carmen said, all we do
I
is
wish
just
we could find one because they all suck.
like on our voice recorder on your phone is all you need. Just record it on your phone, save it down, and then email that to whoever's going to make your chord charts for step 3, which is
Tracking, which is
Tracking.
my favorite
Tracking
part.
is the
Is
best.
that your favorite part?
Oh, yeah.
Even more than vocals. Yeah.
All right, cool. So
Is it because we sit and do nothing?
Yes.
No, I just like to see it all
just
come
kidding.
together like a puzzle piece.
It's
and
pretty
it's like
neat.
when you hear it happen, you're like, that's exactly what I had in my head. How did you do that?
yeah. So there are guys in Nashville that
Not just Nashville, but
no. Oh yeah.
plenty.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There are guys
Studio
all over.
musicians.
Yeah, studio musicians, and all they do. Some of them tour a little bit, with groups and things like that. Some of them just play studio
that's
sessions.
the life. Let me tell you.
That would be
I wish
pretty
God
awesome.
gave me that talent.
Hey, now that's a long day's
Oh,
life.
yeah,
though.
but-
Oh, yeah.
But
you're creating music
Constantly.
like every day. That would be so fun.
I think about that, but then I also think like some of those guys, you think about the ones that are like, we need 10 songs in, 3 hours, and they're like,
You're right.
just got to throw it down. But
when you have the time to create,
when you have time to create, it is cool
It's
to
really
just
cool.
watch them like the way they feed off of each other is
So these studio musicians, you're going to go in and you're going to record what we call a rhythm section track, right? So you're going to have drums, bass, guitar, piano,
tambourine.
yeah,
percussion.
percussion. We'll call it percussion. I'm not a big fan of the tambourine, just so you know
Which
that.
is crazy because you grew up Pentecostal.
I know. I think it was because I grew up.
That's why you don't like it.
Pentecostal and people that why. Okay,
Let's do a little sidebar.
why can't people play the tambourine?
Brother?
Why?
Because
Have you
people are
tried?
they don't have rhythm.
That's what it is, right?
But have you tried? I mean, I have. I feel like I have rhythm, but
I
when
don't.
I play the tambourine, then
You
I'm
sound
like,
stupid.
why am I behind? Oh,
You can't play the tambourine in worship. Let me say that much.
Okay, is
When the
that what it
spirit's moving, your whole body ain't cool. Now, if you're just sitting there, just giving it the old 1-2, that's fine. But
The
if
old
God starts
1-2.
moving, put the tambourine down. Just wave your hands, not the tambourine.
I don't know. Should I tell them the story, my tambourine story? Just
leave out all.
I will.
Names,
I will.
no
I will.
locations.
Just really, really quick.
It's funny.
So one time we were.
I thought you were leaving.
This was way
Outta
back.
here.
This was way back in the day when I was leading a band at the time, and we were doing a little bit of a different genre of music. We weren't doing Southern gospel, but I was playing acoustic guitar, and my drummer had started taking an electric kit at the. I don't know why he did that.
Probably just to save
That's so
space.
much easier.
Saving space,
Yeah.
but I
Noise
love
too.
noise.
You can control the
Yeah.
volume as well.
I love acoustic drums though. But anyway,
Amen.
so he took a set of electric drums to this gig that we were doing. We set up, sound check, everything's fine. Well, we don't have. He had in-ear monitors,
So he can
hear
so
God.
he could tune out all the outside noise and just hear his
split
drums
track.
or whatever he wanted to hear. However, I did not have in-ear monitors. I was going off the stage monitors. So we get up there and we're playing. We're having a great time. Spirits moving. Everything's great. And then all of a sudden, this lady picks up a tambourine.
Right in the front.
And she is playing that tambourine. At one point, she was playing it so loud that I couldn't hear the drummer anymore. And so he was driving through. He was playing great. I could not hear anything he was doing. So I was so far off. I was so far off. I looked down at the front row at one point. She had that tambourine around her wrist, slinging it above her head.
See, that is too much.
I was like, oh, it was a disaster.
and we had to stop.
We did. We had to stop. I mean, there was
Or did
nothing.
he just turn off the?
He just
click?
turned off the.
turned off
He
the
turned
click.
off the split track. But anyway, regardless, I'm not a big fan.
With that knowledge, when we went into the studio the first time, I told the drummer, I knew how you felt about tambourines, and we were doing this one song, and it was kind of driving, and it was "God Will Be Faithful,"
Oh, was it?
and so it was, grooving, and so I told the drummer, I was like, "Hey, man, my brother Jacob hates tambourines." He's like, "Oh, really?" I said, "Can you go in there? Don't say just." Suggest to the producer that we need to put tambourine on this project. And he's like, absolutely, I got you. So he walks into the booth where Jacob's sitting right in front of him. He's like, Steve, I just think we need some. He starts playing it right in front of Jacob.
I was
think
like,
we just need a little bit of tambourine.
I was
man.
trying to be so respectful too. I was like, I just don't know about that.
It's tambourines and clap tracks.
Clap tracks, yeah.
But definitely we did learn.
But we did end up putting it on. And did you
Drummer
hear?
needs to do the clap track.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. You know what he does though? When he's putting tambourine, he was going. I was like, "Oh, that's how you're supposed to play tambourine."
Not
'Cause
like
it sounded
this.
great.
Not,
Okay, so let's get back to what we were talking about.
so
You're going to need first an engineer
sure.
Oh yeah.
and a studio to be at, and your producer can help you find a good one and a good fit your price range.
Yeah.
Also,
Amen.
and they will usually coordinate paying your players through the studio. You pay that engineer or the studio owner, and they take care of paying the players that you get that day. And your producer will help you figure out what players you need. He was talking about a rhythm section, just the basics of the track. But if you're like 6 out of our 10 songs are going to need a banjo or whatever,
Right.
then you might find somebody who plays two things
Yeah.
like that and can fill 2 roles, or at least have that person there in the studio the day that you do all that recording.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Yep. You need to know what you think your songs need when you go into the tracking session as far as musicians go, so that you know, or instruments go, so that you know which musicians to hire.
Again, from pre-production.
Like, for instance, we hired a really, really, a guy that is really known for his acoustic playing for our Sing Them Again CD.
hymns,
Because it was hymns and we were going to do it a little bit more stripped down. So we hired a really well-known acoustic player, whereas for This Is Your Day, it was more mainstream.
forth.
Yeah, so we
Electric,
had a guy
acoustic.
that could do both really, really well. And when you
Acoustic
say
and
that,
electric.
when you say
They
that
are
one
all
studio,
so
they're all incredible.
Oh, yeah.
So. But
Well, the guy on Sing Them Again, like he could play mandolin,
Several
banjo.
different-
He,
yeah, it was
he
real
did
bluegrass
the bluegrass
heavy.
things, and
mhm.
it's crazy.
Just
man.
really cool.
So once you've set that up, you need to set up time in that studio, matches everybody's schedules and their schedule as well, and they'll set you up some days to go down. Some people like to take advantage of less time, less money, but that means less time on each song.
Yeah.
But then those players don't really get to be creative. They'll get one pass, maybe two passes through the whole song, and then they've got to move on. So if you have,
Because they're going to give you what you want. That's
And
the thing.
They're good
they'll
enough
make you
to
happy.
do that.
Oh, yeah.
Sure,
And it's
sure.
going to sound great.
But if you have the resources to give them a little bit of time, so like you say a 3-hour block, and you try to do 2 or 2.5 songs in that 3-hour block or something like, or maybe a song per hour. Is that what? I don't remember what we did.
I think we did like a song per hour.
Yeah.
Or
Ish,
something like that.
I think we did maybe 5 songs a day, 5
Uh-huh.
or 6 songs in one day, and that's like a 6-hour, 2 blocks of 3 hours.
And
Anyway,
that's still working pretty steady.
Yeah, there's not really a break except for like
No.
some in the middle to eat something quick.
but it just gives them a chance to breathe a little bit and say, I don't really like what I did there.
Let me
Let's go
try
back and do that
something
again.
else. Yeah.
Mhm.
And, you know,
And I think something that maybe I've learned over the last few years, I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. I want to make that disclaimer. However, I feel like when you have more time, obviously, like we said, you can be more creative. But I think what comes with that are what our producers call signature licks,
Mm-hmm.
where they can create these things. You know, like when you hear a song,
That are
you automatically know that's Alan Jackson Chattahoochee,
yeah,
right?
something recognizable.
It's something really, really.
Oh, is that what it sounds like?
Shut up, Caleb.
As long
So-
as you say so.
Something they're creating something really recognizable
Yeah.
that kind of defines that song, and I think that's really, really important for people to be able to hear, your audience and your listeners to be able to hear whenever the finished product's done. As soon as that comes on, they're like, oh, that's This Is Your Day by Phillips and Banks or whatever, or
I
Man in
still-
the Middle or whatever.
And it was a different musician, different studio. But I'm to this day, when I hear, I know it's Glory That Will Be.
Yeah.
I know as soon as I'm like, gosh, I love the kickoff.
Mhm. So I think that's really important.
gives you
remember-
time to get that stuff in.
Yeah,
Right.
and this last project, I don't think we've had to do it before, but what was the song we had? Well, they played all the way through it, and then we're like, "Hey, can we bump the tempo?" We had, and I mean, it made a big difference, but it wasn't just a couple clicks.
But you had the time. to
Yeah,
do that.
you had the
Mhm.
time to. I don't remember which song it was, but
Who
it was
knows?
like, man, it really.
There's nothing like leaving the studio and going,
I wish we.
Man.
Yeah.
I wish we'd have had time to do this and change that. I don't like that feeling.
I can't tell you how many times I look at it this way. If you're going to spend the amount of money that you're going to spend on a good quality recording,
Get what you want.
you might as well be happy with it,
Mhm.
So take the extra time, I think, on tracking days. So
Next.
you get all those tracks done, then you go home and you practice with those
yes.
soundtracks.
You do your homework.
You do your homework so that when you go into step 4, I guess it is.
The
One.
next step.
The next step, when you go into the next step, which are vocal days, that you're not, again, wasting time in the studio. You
familiar
go
with
in
it.
prepared and you're fairly familiar with how it needs to go. At least the basic parts and your solo stuff, right? So
There's some stuff that you don't, get to until you get there. But
Mhm, right. So
And that's okay too, because you also want to be able to be creative.
right.
But you don't want to go in there being like, I don't really know how
You need
the
to be
melody goes
familiar
yet, so I don't know how to
enough.
sing my part.
yeah,
Right.
you need to be familiar enough to be able to be creative.
Right. So
And your vocal producer, whoever that is, can correct you when you're
Oh, yeah.
wrong. But
Very
if
good.
you've locked it in your brain one single way, it's
Right.
very hard to change that.
It is.
right. So I feel like there's a fine line of
Being
like
prepared.
being prepared and being even overly
Flexible.
prepared. And, so, be a little flexible when you go into the vocal studio. We usually take about 3
Yeah.
days. We record our vocals in about 3 days. And
That's
if we
for
need
10
more, we
songs.
leave room for it. But
yeah, so that's about 10 songs, 3 songs a day. So you've got
Plenty of time.
plenty of time to.
And there's 4
do
of
those
us too,
things.
so most of the time you'll each record separately too.
Mhm.
So that takes more
bass
time.
singers
Takes
go
more-
early in the morning. I'm just kidding.
It takes more time than you
You think?
than
it
you
would,
think.
yeah. Now we did record one a cappella song, I think. All.
I think we did a scratch all together and then sang individually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's right. Yeah. So yeah, you'll go in. And the vocal producer, our vocal producer, John Rousey, he's great at like once you get those main then he main parts down, your solo parts down, your harmony parts. Then he may go back in and say, okay, I want you to do this right here at the beginning, this
Mhm.
vocalization at the beginning, and it just brings again. You're taking this little demo that you got,
Like bringing it to life.
and you're bringing it to life. And I just think that is the coolest process. So, he'll come in and do all those things with you, and it's really cool.
You need somebody who can hear parts.
Oh, yeah.
Faux show.
John blows my
Especially
mind.
better
if
than
you yeah, seriously.
You need to find somebody much better than you.
Especially if you struggle to hear parts at all. Yeah, that will be really helpful.
Because they can be creative all day. Maybe their most creative vocal that you should do this here or this here. But if they can't hear your parts and you can't sing in 4-part harmony, then you got a problem.
Like I feel like singing parts is something that I feel very confident in doing. But something about new stuff and being in the studio with new material, if I didn't have someone directing me, even though I know the parts, know the chords, I would be struggling.
And he'll even point out, he might even point out one note.
One
to you,
note.
And you're like, oh, I didn't really hear the chord that
Yeah.
way. And he's
Mhm.
like,
Well, you're dumb.
that's not the way it goes. No, it doesn't match. You may have been practicing this, but the way they played this lick or the way the bass player played
There's
this
an
line,
extra little
you
note in
can't
there
sing
or
that
something,
note
or-
anymore
yeah.
or
John
whatever.
does that a lot.
You need somebody to be able to hear.
And then when you
Where,
finally
yeah.
do sing it, you're like,
Oh, that made all the
matches
difference in the world. Yeah.
Where I don't sing bass naturally, I mean, it's crazy. I like to, John can, it's amazing to me what notes he can sing on his own. But then if he's wanting me to go down to a certain spot, sometimes he'll just get into the keyboard and put it in my ear.
just
Dum,
play
dum,
the
dum,
note
dum, dum.
over and
This
over.
is where I want you to go. I'm like, doesn't not sound right at all because I don't naturally hear the bass. You know what I mean? Especially if it's a weird note.
I feel sorry for you.
I know.
But it's crazy when John makes the process easier because he doesn't make me feel dumb. You know what I mean? It's like, I know you don't hear it. Nobody really hears this part. I don't know how he does. But then he knows
plays
all
the
4 of
piano.
our parts
That's part of it.
together. That's the crazy thing. He's like, this is the chord I want it to be, or I want this cluster to happen, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? It's just crazy.
Again, I think something that's really important is to have somebody that really
Knows you.
makes you feel confident
Right.
in
And
the
even
studio.
I'm talking so much. Sorry.
No,
My
go ahead.
parental law hit. I feel great.
This is great.
I don't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, and just because we're talking about one certain person doesn't mean that other people are.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
There are
no.
plenty
There's
of people
so
out there.
We're
many.
just speaking from our experience.
But the person you're looking for is somebody who can hear the parts really well and somebody that you feel really comfortable with. Even if even the first time you meet the producer, we may not have felt 100% comfortable with them there, but as you grow in that relationship with them, you know that this is a safe place.
Yeah, you're
Oh, yeah.
comfortable enough to mess up too.
That's right,
This
yeah.
is a safe place to screw up.
Yeah, and John will say things like, "Okay,
let's try that one more
We'll
time.
just do that one more
Let's do
time."
that again.
I think you have a better one.
I think you
Yeah.
got a better one.
I think you got a better one.
Listening.
Listening. Yeah, we get that a lot. Listening.
Let's see if we can fix that. See if we can pull that up in Melodyne real quick. See if it's even fixable.
Yeah.
No, it is not.
We'll leave it if it's fixable.
So
go ahead, Carmen.
next,
Then
your project needs to get into the hands of, first of all, an editor, okay? And it could be the engineer that you had, whoever you're going to get to, make sure that all of the things in your song line up together. You know, sometimes it's really hard to get breaths together or cutoffs at the end together.
Gosh.
And yeah, S's at the ends of words. But so you need somebody who can come in and clean up the project, and then also tune up the project a little bit.
So they use this program called Melodyne, and they will tune all of our vocals to where if we're just a little
Yeah,
bit.
now we're not in the studio singing really bad, and then they have to fix it.
No,
but
don't.
sometimes it's just especially if you get a really good like take emotionally, or like the vibe is right, but you're just a little off. Let's keep it, and we'll fix it later in post.
Right.
But never do anything that you cannot pull off in person.
That you can't do.
That's
live.
exactly what John always says, because some mornings I can come in there and drag the floor, whatever. But that John's like, can you do that all the time? I'm like, no, John, I can't. Well, let's put it
something
somewhere
else.
you can.
Yeah.
So don't do things when you're like, oh, they'll just make me sound good. And then you try it in person,
And you
you're
sound
like,
horrible.
wow, they did not
shouldn't
really
have done that.
record that, did they?
Yeah.
So don't do something like that.
Also,
wanna-
I don't feel like Melodyne it's not cheating.
No.
Every song you have ever
Ever
listened
heard.
to
They
has
do it.
pitch correction on it.
Let me
Just
say
get
this.
it on as close as you possibly can
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
studio, though.
No, that means the pressure is on you only to deliver it well and
So that you can't tell
be
that
as
it's
close as you
Yeah.
possibly can. Sometimes you are just
Nickels.
cents
Yeah.
off from being perfectly in tune with all of you. And our ears are so trained now, listening to the radio and music now. If you didn't do that, you would definitely
Hear the difference.
yeah.
know.
You'd be like, what
But
is the
like I
matter with
said,
this?
don't do something that you can't really pull off, because that's not fair or fun.
Let me say, I want to put a disclaimer out there. There are producers all over the place that can do every bit of this stuff for
Yep.
you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, for instance,
One-stop shop.
right.
From
That's what I
start
mean.
to finish of an album, you may find somebody that can do everything. And you may go into this, you've done this a few times, and you realize that you really like this person for this, that, and the other, but you feel like you might identify with a different person to do one thing on the project
That's
for
okay.
you. It doesn't matter. Like
Your
you can
money,
make
your project.
this what you want it to be.
Right. So you get your editing done, your tuning done. You don't have to do any of that. Those people are just going to do it, and then they'll send it back to you. And then,
Mastering, right? Or
well,
mixing.
no, we got to get overdubs.
Oh yeah,
Right.
if you need them.
Strings.
So,
and
or
all
if
that
there are any extra instruments that weren't on your, actually, you need to do this before the
Before.
tuning. So after you get your vocals done, then they'll go in and do the overdubs. And by overdubs, I just mean extra instruments that you didn't initially record. So
Any
if
kind
you,
of orchestra, brass, I don't know.
You didn't have a fiddle player there, and you won't fiddle on
Right,
this
some
song,
sort of
or
little-
You want something. Something
We did
that you
a
didn't
what is
get.
it? A harp? Did we do a harp or a cello or
Cello.
Cello.
Mm-hmm.
Cello.
So any of that stuff needs to be done as well.
Now, somebody tell them about Orchestration Day, because that's a lot of fun. Anybody?
I love Orchestration Day.
Yeah. So you go into this gigantic. I mean, well, you're in a control room. You don't have to go and watch them. You can just let
But
them
it's
do it.
so much fun.
But it's really cool to watch them. So and you've got
30 people.
30 people in there that have sheet music of your music sitting in front of them, and they're playing it, and this conductor that has arranged the string portion of your music, or the brass portion of your music, or whatever it is. And you may not put orchestration on every song. You may not put brass on every song. I think on our latest
Sometimes
recording,
it's too much.
we put strings on a couple songs and brass on one song. And we went down and we watched them record it just for fun. And it was an incredible experience seeing those people bring in just another bit of life to your project. It's really
So
cool.
for that, you're going to need to find someone who does orchestra arrangements or whatever instrument that you want, or some overdubs. If it's just one person and you feel confident that they could come up with their own thing and just
Which most of them honestly can.
Right. But if you're talking about multiple people, you're going to need somebody to write a piece of music for them to play. Because obviously one person can ad-lib and do stuff and be creative on their own. But when you need multiple people to work together, like an orchestra, a 13-piece, string section, you're going to need some music. So there are plenty of arrangers out there. And if you ever want to know how we figured out some names of arrangers, you go on Spotify.
Scroll down to those credits.
You press the song that you've heard that you know. You go down to the credits, yes, and they'll say arranger or string arranger or whatever. You can find some names that you might be able to find.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there are guys out there like Trey Ivy. He's an incredible producer.
Yeah.
Cody McVeigh is a great, incredible producer and arranger.
Does Trey Ivy do?
Greater Vision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think doesn't he do Mylon Hayes too?
Mm-hmm.
Incredible arranger and producer.
And
So
then
go
with
ahead.
their music, since it's what they wrote, they will usually be the ones to produce the tracks. Like they'll be the one directing the people in the studio when they're doing that, and you're just sitting and watching.
It's really cool.
Or you get the product back when they're done.
I love it.
So you get your orchestra done, then it'll go to editing and tuning, because then the full track will be done. They'll tune everything and edit it just like you want it, and then it'll go to a process called mixing, right? And that's where that's
That's
the
a
worst
lot of prayer.
part.
bro.
That's probably my hardest. Well, besides choosing the songs, I enjoy
know.
choosing the songs. I think.
Yeah,
I think mixing
listening to
is
mixes.
is my least favorite part of recording.
the reason I don't like it is because I am really picky.
Yeah.
And we all four of us don't necessarily even agree on every part
Every
of
mix,
the mix.
but we get to
we get to a happy medium usually.
I will say this as far as the mix, something we've learned is don't pick one device and listen to it on that, because you're going to shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, listen
Well,
to
let's
it.
explain what we mean by mixing. So, they're going to get the song and they're going to put it into their computer or whatever.
Every vocal, every instrument, every drum, every
Bringing it up and setting it just right where it needs to be. The drums have to be, it's just a lot to it. Now, thankfully, you don't have to do any of it. But when they finish a mix, then they'll send it back to you and say, okay, what do you want to change? And then you got to listen to it, and then you got to figure out what you don't like about it and what you want changed. And,
Like
my vocal needs to be a little bit
Yeah.
hotter in this section, or the bass guitar needs to be a little bit hotter in this section, or can you bring back the orchestra a little bit, or, whatever. And that seems like really minuscule things,
it's not.
but it gets really overwhelming when you're trying to figure out what you want.
Another great time to have a producer that you trust.
Yeah, and honestly, if I got somebody that I trusted really, really,
Like
really well,
150% trust.
we trusted Matthew, we trusted John, and they got us great projects.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
But one thing I think moving forward, I wouldn't even care to listen to the mixes as much. Let's wait until we get really deep into it, where you feel like it's almost done.
Yeah.
Then let
then
me hear
send it to
when
me.
you're
and
on
let
the
me hear
tail
it.
end of it, you're like, this is
This
ready to
really,
put it
really,
out.
really
Okay, well, then
close.
let me. I will say this, that something, it's just a preference thing, but because if I'm not mistaken, we had the option to have our engineer, the guy that was doing everything, he could do mix, aligning, tuning, he could do everything.
Mm-hmm.
But now correct me if I'm wrong, we like it to pass through a couple sets of hands.
Mhm.
Because I feel like, and Carmen and I have talked about this a lot, I don't care who you are. You listen to that same piece of music so many times, you're going to go deaf to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we like having,
Fresh
like we've got
ears.
a couple of guys that does our aligning and tuning. And then it goes to our mixer. And it's just different people are going to catch different things in your project. And pick out things that you're like, oh, I didn't even notice that.
That's
Yeah.
a really good
'Cause
point.
you've
Definitely
listened to a
think
lot.
there are advantages to that
Mhm.
and disadvantages too, as far as money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing financially. I mean, it'll be fine, but it's just it does help to kind of have.
The more fresh ears you have listening to the project all the way through the process, I
Yeah.
think is
Make it the best it can be.
ideal.
Yeah.
You know, but
Well, we've got people I know because I get a call. Jacob, let me hear a couple of the new track. I'm like, yeah, Josh. You know what I mean? Like, it's stuff like that I'm like, yep, you do have to have. You want everyday people who are like, man, this is great. You kind of want that feedback to see where you're at with. There's
Sure.
nothing wrong with that.
And what you were saying earlier about listening to your mixes on different devices, you know, most people are listening through a phone or headphones of some sort, not just in their car anymore or wherever. So you listen to it in multiple places
Mhm.
so that you know that it's not going to sound bad in any of them.
right.
Because some things may sound more bass heavy here or it really thin over here in this. So you kind of have to strike that balance where it's going to be recognizable as what you want it to sound
Yeah.
like on all devices. You know, it's going to sound different on
Get a
each
perfect
thing,
sound
but-
system set up. It's gonna be like, yeah, that sounds great. Well, yeah, I tuned it to mixed it to what I wanted.
Yeah, and then
Listen
you get
to your everyday device. You're like, oh my god.
yeah, yeah.
So just checking those things on different devices, just so you don't get an unbalanced something on some device that you're using
right.
or that someone will use.
So, you know, your producer and engineers and all that, they'll do all that mixing stuff. You approve the mixes, then you send it to what they call mastering. And all mastering really, well, I can't speak to this. I don't know.
All this is
I've just always heard that it's like putting the icing on the cake, and it just kind of smooths everything out, you know, from track to track. Like, you know, when your first track on your CD ends and then the second track comes in, you don't want this one to be like a good volume and then the next track to be really, really soft where the person that's listening has to turn it up really high or it be really, really
Kinda
loud and then they got to turn.
everything out.
Just kind of levels everything out through the whole project.
And
that's
also bring some sparkle.
yeah, that's the simplest way to describe it.
Yeah. It's a very complicated thing, and I would never want to do it.
No.
So, but it'll bring it'll take your project kind of like from dull, even though you like it, but like kind of make it shine.
Yeah.
When it's over.
Just puts the finishing touches on it. So that
is not it, my friend.
no, it's not.
And then you have to design all your. We're not gonna get into
that's
all
what I
that,
was
but
getting ready
there's
to say.
still
We
so many steps.
Yeah.
You got to get an album
But that
cover.
is the recording process once you approve and
So you got to have photo shoots. You got to have graphic design. You know, designing all those things. You got to pay your royalties, and then you got to find a duplicator. You know, like CD Baby or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
disc makers.
Disc makers that will kind of reproduce the album and package it and then send it back to.
And we do a lot of that in-house, all of that part
yeah,
in-house.
that's what I was going to say. If we are going to go ahead and talk about that, get you a great photographer. The lady that we used this last time, she took great shots.
Amanda Martin.
Amanda Martin, yeah. She was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Contact her directly.
We also had to have makeup artists to make me and Caleb not look so ugly.
It didn't work, brother. I mean, not for me. You look great, but...
as far as you're right. As far as the recording process, that's it. And that's all you got to do. That's it.
That's it.
That's all.
2 hours later, I'm just kidding. But I will say this: be picky about your photographer and make sure you don't do something that makes no sense. Just you want a good, clean cut photo of you all.
Mm-hmm.
But like Autumn and Carmen said, we're very blessed. Our girls know how to they edit, they can make the labels and stuff. They do all the album info. It just, so as much of that you can do yourself, as long as it doesn't look cheesy, do it.
Do it.
That's fine.
Do as much as you can.
And look at other people's projects. Isn't that, you guys just kind of looked at that and was like, I could do that. And you did.
And
I think our stuff looks great.
Your cover being something that matches your album.
Yeah.
I mean, even get creative on what fits what your songs kind of embody that whole album, what would your cover look like? You don't got to just put your face on there, right? You can, which we did on many of them.
Yeah. But make it your own. Like, for example, This Is Your Day, right? Okay, day, right? So we were on top of this hill. The sun was like setting,
which just looks like a sunrise, but it
was actually
we
setting.
Had a great photographer,
and
Taylor.
So you get that idea of this is your day. The sun's coming up, and we're standing there on this little hill. Then on Sing Them Again, we wanted that to be hymns and old songs, and so we made the cover look like an old church hymnal, basically. And it's instead of it saying church hymnal, it says Sing Them Again. So,
but the inside of it is like a beautiful church, like we were
right. So
I
then
love that
you kind of like you marry the idea from the sound of the music to even the design of the artwork. So anyway, we probably bored you all tonight.
How long have we been recording?
I don't know.
7 hours and
only an hour and 10 minutes. So we're okay.
That's plenty.
That's plenty. All right. I'm sorry.
Hi.
Carmen's like, let's go.
I still got it.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching tonight. Caleb, give them your ending advice, your spiel.
Don't forget to go on here. Follow the YouTube link or our YouTube page if you're not already. Click the little bell. Comment on some of these videos and let us know what you like, what you want to see, or what you want to know about the group. And then if there are guests that maybe you're like, hey, you guys have talked about this person, let us know. We may bring them on here. So,
absolutely. So
then check us out on Facebook if you're not already. 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Every Tuesday night we go live at 7:30 and we have a great time. We don't go as long as we do on here, but we have a great time.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that this was like interesting and informational. And if not, let us know in the comments. This is really boring. Don't ever do this again.
PBS with PnB.
God bless you guys. We're out like Meemaw's teeth. Bye.